Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is E.R. Anderson. I'm the executive director of Charis Circle. Charis Circle is a nonprofit programming arm of Charis Books, and Charis Books is the South's oldest independent feminist bookstore. We have been hanging out with Theresa Davis for many a year now, and very honored always to have her host Cliterati Open Mic. Tonight's feature is Trinity Faith. She is here to celebrate the release of her brand new book, Brown Girl Almighty. We're really, really excited. We got lots of copies up front, so be sure to get one of those on your way out, and Trinity will, I'm sure, sign it for you. So the way this works is that we do our open mic part first, beginning with Theresa Davis, and then we will close with a set from our featured writer, who, again, is Trinity Faith. So I'm going to kick it over to Theresa, our hostess with the mostest. And the only thing I'll say is we want to make sure that we get folks on the mic. So anytime you're going up, if you need adjustments, be sure to take the time to get the adjustments so that our virtual folks can hear you properly. All right. Thanks, y'all. Welcome.
Welcome. Hello, everybody. On this fake fall Thursday night. I wanted to be real fall, but I don't trust it yet. We are having ourselves an open mic in a minute, so get ready. And I just realized I was in my brain trying to say, okay, Theresa, how are you going to censor yourself on National Talk Like a Pirate Day when you curse all the time? Today is National Talk Like a Pirate Day, by the way. And I was like, okay, but it's not. We don't censor here, so you may have some explaining to do if you have small children. I'm going to get us started off. I've had a rough week of news, and I think when I take in so much news, it just comes out in my writing. So I'm going to start us off with a couple of poems that I wrote in the last 2 weeks, and they may need some edits. I think one definitely does, but one might be. And this first one is called, in this first piece, I don't use the names, but I will tell you who the people are. I refer to them as pronouns. And the first person is Mike Collins, who is the idiot representative of the town where Appalachia school shooting happened, whose immediate comment at a press conference about a school shooting was, now is not the time to talk about gun safety. Well, when is it? Okay. The they is the GBI and the FBI. The she is Lauren Boebert. The he is Mike Kemp. I mean, that's not his name, but they're the same people. And the last he is a news anchor. And the young man the criminal murderer, name is mentioned at the end. Okay. And the title, From Pillar to Post, means to keep having the same conversation over and over and over again. It's a very old colloquialism, right? So the poem is called From Pillar to Post. He says, now is not the time to talk about gun safety. Bullets still rattling the hallways, product placement pioneers, interchangeable, a willful adopter of assembly line production like the Wild West turned Southern. Red clay dirt absorbing the bloody evidence, a dozen paintings, 4 still lifes and lifeless. Reproductive mass murder, revolving doors like revolving pistols, stories pinned, headline heavy, riddled with thoughts and prayers. And he says, now is not the time to talk of gun safety. Locked in fixed positions, anything in a clutch, bullets cinched in place, flung in quick succession, multiple rounds, and the school year has just started. And yet, this is not the time. And then they said, well, I mean, we talked about him last year about safety after his threats, but not like that. I mean, he wasn't a real threat at all that year, his name evoking all kinds of things, but they will cling to not a threat, dub him peacemaker like his namesake, but not that kind of peace, probably. His skin, an alarm bell rung, ignored because of the color of his skin. Winning the West in a Southern rotation, and how dare you bring logic to a bloodbath. And then she says, nearly 1 million abortions a year, less than 400,000 dead children. That's a drop in the bucket. And I recoil at the casual cannon fodder quip. Anyone can do the math except possibly at school. One doesn't add to the other. And then she says, they are coming for our guns. And she wants us all to know that while she is not currently being felt up in a theater full of children while vaping, she is not happy. Oh, Eric. Oh, Dylan. What a trend you trended before the term was even coined. Over 600 a year since your first, but the cowards of today are not your caliber of weak, too spineless to take themselves out. They linger in their pusillanimity, all white, all breathing, all alive. It's been a long day, he says. Thank you for your incredible, he says. He extends thoughts and prayer confetti like the ones recycled from the last time, and he says, thank you to the harbingers of death's aftermath. Then he asks me to keep all these dead young people in my thoughts, in my prayers, like my prayers are not full to bursting, and the only thought I have of my own are questions like, how? Why do you love guns more than alive children? Then he says, incident. And all I hear is mass murder and trauma. And then he says, cult. And all I hear is gun. Okay. Thank you. And this is the poem that I thought was going to be a love poem, but then it turned into maybe that's not a love poem, but maybe it could be if you squint just a little bit. I don't know. And when I was talking about my mood, I know why I'm in my mood. A good friend of mine. Okay, it's in the poem. Thank you for talking to me earlier. Okay, this one is the Centerfall, and the prompt was, tell me about a scent and a memory it provokes without telling me what the scent is. So any of you who write, get on it. All right, y'all too. Years ago, I hid behind my fears, let you float away from me. Brown eyes and lips so full they pleaded for acceptance. My fear refused to set my tongue free, but I remember the taste. So I watched you go, made sure to cut all ties. It was the only way to protect my heart from you. The potential devastation was too much. I still mourn you in fall. When the coolness creeps in, the chill in the room. These days, the breeze sits on my shoulders, heavy with regret and want. A false fall hiding in the corner. 'Tis the season when thoughts of you are easily triggered by mutual favorite things, a release, a breath held to the point of passing out. There's so many pitfalls in September. October, a taunt of remember when we fall in all its colors, the leaves suiciding off their branches, echoes of sweet nothings, memories lost and found, the way we lingered between poetry and fiction, and how I hesitate before entering libraries and bookstores, you in the air everywhere. An attentive lover, maybe I paid too much attention, never one to cliche my emotions, more tactile, you sensory. You accused me once of killing romance, of being a poet on the wrong side of love. When I showered you with Neruda, reminding you that if each day a flower climbs up to your lips to seek me, his words of love raining all over you like sunshine when all your other lovers only bought you things, once alive, still beautiful, their scent a final breath filling the room, the way they sit in the sunshine, dying in homage of your admirations. There are reasons I never step in flower shops in September. That one needs some work. And it's not a love poem, I don't think. It's something. I am also the literary director for the Arts Exchange. That's a community cultural center in East Point. Right now we have a gallery show called Hold the Line, and it's celebrating Black masculinity. And the artwork is breathtaking. It's just beautiful. and it's everywhere. It's so much art, and the gallery is open there from 10 to 6 every day of the week, and on except Monday, we're closed on Mondays, and Saturday we have lots of things going on in the building. So anytime you want to come over and check out the art. Also, this Saturday, if you're feeling scrappy, I have Scrabble Club, and I would love to kick your ass in Scrabble. It would be joyous to me because that's what I do. Literacy and also a beatdown. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It's with words. It's fun. So you should come. It's a free event, and it is brought to you by South Fulton Arts. This is the last one, and this is written to a piece in the gallery, and it's 3 black and brown children, and they all standing in different directions with their superhero poses, and they all have different colored capes on and different attitudes on their face, and it made me, of course, it brought me back to kids going to school and made me think of my son. So this is Superman. There are moments when the beat of my heart pauses, its off-kilter thud attempts to shake tears from my eyes, an irrational feeling in an irrational world. When I was 14, I wandered the neighborhood until the night, hung at the mall with my friends until way past dark, and no one ever wondered if they'd see me again. No one doubted I'd arrive home alive. The good old days. When the rules of existing were firmly in place: don't talk to strangers, don't get in the cars with strangers, don't accept food from strangers. These concepts door dashed and Ubered away. I was 34 years old the first time I heard the word mass shooting. In 1999, Eric and Dylan instilled fear in every parent on the planet who never wrestled with the idea that they could send their home child to school and they might never return. My son had yet to be born in 1999 as they terrorized classroom and Prince told us to party like the year it was. Some thought the world was ending, while a militarized police and the media decided that black and brown skin was always a threat, and especially when they were unarmed, they made fine homes for bullets. My son loves superheroes, no matter the universe, cape or not, and I never shielded my kids from harsh realities. When something bad happened in the world, my son always had a superhero contingency plan, and as he grew older, mass shootings were when he went to middle school, mass shootings were on average 400 times a year. He missed a lot of school because fear can cause a soul kind of sickness, not conducive to learning. After his first active shooter drill, he cried for 3 days. By 7th grade, he developed his own sense of coping, decided if anything happened, he would save himself and others, while I desperately hoped nothing happened. His optimism, a cape. I hoped he'd never have to rely on, never have thoughts and prayers heaped in his direction, never left searching the skies, seeing all the birds, all those planes, and not one Superman in sight. Okay. Thank you all for listening. Also, I don't know if you are a slammer. I'm going to say this again later. I am doing my All Voices Poetry Slam at the Arts Exchange on the 28th of this month, $500 in prizes. If you are a slam poet, or know a slam poet, or want to just throw your hat in the ring and be like, I could use $500. Come on through, check me out. And later I will tell you my email and Instagram and all that crap. But right now, we're going to hear some poetry from you. One note: if you do not want to be on the lovely camera, so the people not in the room, they can hear you, but they can't see you, just let ER know, and we will make it happen. Yeah? So, Briani, are you ready? I went first, so technically, everybody's ready. Y'all give it up for Briani!
Sorry. Um, I'm really nervous right now. Sorry. Um, my poem's name is Princess. I've never really liked the word princess. Thank you. Um, I've never really liked the word princess, neither used as a name to call as or a word in general. Princess was such a big word for such a little girl who was still learning to read. 20 something pages is what was assigned for such a young child. Misreading the word was anger inducing for the perpetrator, who saw after his boat wasn't causing water to fall, so he took princesses to cause more pain and procrastination. Princess will always remember the fake waterfalls. They always say you only get one perpetrator in life, but he will only ever get one princess. He lost his chance of ever having the respect of princess.
Thank you for sharing. Now, sharing is brave, and we appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Noel. See, the way you wrote this, it said how to pronounce it. No, and then it has the L in parentheses. I was like, how do I say Noel without saying the L? But that's not what you meant. Y'all give it up for Noel.
I have two short-ish poems I'm going to read. The first one is called 3 a.m. French Toast. Water spilling, distressed about the mess, not on a log, the other option, tongues out, breaking open, hungry for the iodine liquid, salty and sweet mix, desiring to taste all of what's to be found, licking the tears from skin-covered souls. Love means letting someone crawl inside, like insects making home in hollowed wood. Bob Rossett and Happy Accident, that tree. Betsy Rossett and Fly the Colors. Stars and shapes, show me the monuments you created from surrender. What used to be a battleground is now for making middle of the night French toast. Fabric, forest, food tenderly form a story in this timeline. Nostalgic heartache in the softest places. I'll wrap your wounds if you wrap mine. Deliciously ripened memories of our past, weaving stories together like braids of a basket, creating space to hold something new. Perhaps tomorrow's bittersweet, or maybe flavors of tart cherry treats. Thank you. This piece is called Too Much. I'm a volcano. You are a botanical garden, one that wasn't well maintained. I was too much for you, too much passion, too much excitement, too much strength, too much vulnerability, too much inquisitiveness, too many thoughts, too much love. I've surrounded myself with lakes and thunderstorms and all kinds of beauty. I've learned trash with the right arrangement and the right vantage point can look like a botanical garden. I've learned something you think is beautiful can really hurt you. I've learned it's okay to accept love from the lake and love from the thunderstorm at the same time. There is beauty in appreciating each and unique experience to be had. I have so much love. I hope you found way less.
You could arrange garbage and it. Ooh, that was a. I was like, I'm gonna make that a T-shirt. But I'm gonna ask you first. Hey, that was Noel, everybody. Y'all give it up one more time for Noel and keep that applause going for
I have two short poems, and then I was going to sing two short songs. I will do the poems first. This one, I don't really know where it came from. I was just doodling at work, and I drew this girl, and then I called her Ophelia, and then I wrote this poem about her. Ophelia was drowned. She doesn't talk much about it. She was able to bring air back into her punctured lungs, the feeling like white fire. Nobody wants to hear about a survivor. They only want a victim to mourn. Ophelia survived, so the world went on and on. second one is on my phone. This one has a little bit of a backstory, and it's kind of sad, but it has a happy ending. Just a short recap. A couple weeks ago, I was getting ready to go to work, and I just felt the urge to go outside in my backyard, and so I did. And I looked on the ground in front of this tree, and there was this tiny baby chipmunk. It was literally like the size of my thumb, and I have really small hands. So I went and I was like, "Are you lost? Are you going home? Like you're just out here." And like it didn't like run away like rodents usually do, so that meant something was probably wrong. So I picked it up and I tried to put it in the bushes because there are a lot of big birds, there are snakes in our backyard and stuff. And I was like, I'm gonna feel really bad if something happens to you. So I picked it up and I put it in a little bush and it just sat there and it was just looking around. I was like, okay, I'm gonna cover you with some leaves because you're in shock right now. So I did that and I went to work. Then I came back and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna check on that little pile of leaves just in case. And I did. Unfortunately, baby chipmunk did not make it through the day and she was still there. So I took it upon myself to bury her under the tree that I found her next to. And this is the obituary that I wrote for her. Back to the earth, back to your mother. She'll keep you safe and warm like you deserve. Leaving the body you had, the home while you were here, I hope it served you well. Despite how little time you had, I'm glad you shared it with me. You reminded me that miracles happen every day, no matter how small, no matter how brief. Seeing that you're safe now is such a relief. I'll give you another gift on your way out for your journey back home. Red jasper, she's now grounded, one with Gaia. Opalite, you know she has a bright soul, guided to a place as shining as her. Obsidian, protect her body from hawks, snakes, and coyotes. Keep away the negativity of this physical world. And the last crystal, whose name is unknown to me, show her the mysteries of the universe, the nebulae and the stars. Give her a grand tour of space and time before she goes to her final resting place. Maybe on my own path to the stars, we'll meet again in another life. Maybe I'll recognize you. Maybe we'll be friends again. I'll see you again. Another life.
Theresa owed me a phone. Can't pop home. Sorry, people in the world looking at my behind. How many roadies? I'm joking. Joking. You're roadie.
You are so talented. Thank you. So are you. Okay, both these songs are very short. Both of them I wrote by myself on a whim. So I don't have a name for the first one, but here it is. Looks like he's dreaming, but I can't be too sure. Nightmares are too slippery. Soon as you wake, lay up and go. it's midnight, but I'm scared to be in darkness. Will you tell me everything's okay? Pat my hair and kiss my forehead. As you see, I'm on my way to bed now, and I look a little restless. The image is floating in my head now. They dance and tease behind my eyelids. The nightmares that come and take me home. The nightmares that come and slit my throat. I beg of you, please don't let them take me away. Please stay here, please stay with me until it's day. And this is the last song. I know you aren't mine, but I don't wanna believe it. And why do you try to make me happy? It's not your job. And if you can live, you can live. I can live without you, and I can learn to be myself without you. Oh, where did the happiness go? I think you took it along with my heart. And now I'm hollowed out. My parts are with you, and you're too bare. And now I'm alone, with a hole carved out inside me. And you've gone on, and lived your life without me.
Am I back in the right spot? ER. Still in the camera? Okay. Cool. And y'all keep that applause going for Cassidy. Cassidy.
Hello. Excuse me. I have to find it real quick. I recently read the book Martyr by Kaveh Akbar. I don't know if you guys know that one. It was on like Obama's favorite books, which is ironic since he bombed the place that he's from. But I read it and it was really good. And there was this line. I'm sorry. He's a poet, and so a lot of his like descriptions of things was poetry, like or whatever. And he used a lot of like quotes from poems he liked. And one he wrote was, "If we meet in hell, it's not hell." and I really, really, really like that. So I made a little poem. If I was extending that quote because I'd never actually read the actual poem that it's from, and I never researched it, so I just thought I would make a poem based off of that line. If we meet in hell, it's not hell, but all the little sins derived that would drag us if we drove into the ground deep. A well of devils, a harvest of dreamers, all derived from the promises I'd forgotten to keep, all the breezes I'd forgotten to thank God for, all the grace afforded, all the karma undealt. If we met in heaven, I doubt the exclusivity of its gates. How hopelessly godless these two hapless inmates. And then there was another one that I wrote. Sorry, excuse me. I am the reluctant charge of all I indirectly affect, yet at the mercy of the charitable ebbed tide, flowing time, pulling back in my essence, stripping my forward motion to the chattering bone. Excuse me. Bearing humorless teeth clenched tight enough to snap my jaw, a cage clamped to protect that burning marble searing in the back of my throat, a choking sob slowly growing in my throat, a dry, scathing sob silent. A pitiful chuckle, harsh, pushed through humorless baring of teeth. Throbbing marble, searing strange, strangled sobs, slowly scraping away until I choke. That's it. And then I had one more on my phone. Excuse me. This is a poem that I made in response to how I've been dealing with my grief to a person I've lost, and how I feel like I don't do them justice because I'm too proud to express how sad I am and how I would feel in that place. When I die, I want my leaving to be so painful the thought of me brings even the most numb to wretched, searing tears. I want them to break down and sob endlessly. I hope that they don't have a choice but to scream, choking on their own grief, nauseous. I want them to weep and fall to the ground. They would see me in every song, every work of art, and every reference would rip out their heart. Gasping, kneeling over in shock at the agony, like a knife, a barbed knife, yes. They'd cry out in fury, blood boiled and hardened, hot and rushed anger at the stars, cursing God whilst praying for my soul.
Everybody. All right, we have one last open micer. And do you need the chair or are you standing? You're standing? Okay. Yo, give it up for Lacey. Oh, you need it? I'm assuming all kinds of stuff. I'm like, this. Lacey is setting up. Let me, again, about the Arts Exchange, I have an open mic there also every second Friday of the month. I do a writing workshop in person every second Saturday of the month, and then Scrabble Club. And then on fourth Saturdays, I started a new program called Play with Our Words. It is intergenerational. So we have 74-year-olds playing Scrabble with 10-year-olds. It's hungry. And that's every fourth Saturday. So bring your family, come to a group, whatever you got. And again, I'm gonna beat you, but we're gonna have fun. And, no, that's at the Arts Exchange, East Point. Yeah.
I think so. My partner and I love Scrabble, so we will probably hit you up. Oh, thank you.
Lacey, everybody, yeah.
Hi, I'm Lacey Wilder. I'm gonna play a song that I have been working on for a couple months, but I finished it today. Little bit of a backstory. It's also very, very new, so if anyone has like suggestions, definitely let me know. backstory is like twice this year I've had like very, very close like family friends that I grew up with where like the husband has like left their wives and their families like very, very suddenly for like no reason at all. And it just has made me like reflect a lot about gender and womanhood and masculinity. And so this song is called Atlas. Woman like your atlas, shifted on its axis, ever long to build and moments to collapse. It's the path of least resistance. Who can get away with, and who could never dare to try? Coming out the woodwork, shadows on my childhood, men that I believed in only as a child could. Things are not so scattered, I keep seeing patterns, so much more than blood or time. Woman, take your clay and mold it for you. Happy is a weight to shoulder for you. Say you made your world, who holds it for you? Atlas to the front line, silent till it's high tide. Straw unto the camel, her to blame and blindside. Wield your broken levy. Atlas, is it heavy? Do you need someone to stand beside? If you don't want the rage, I'll hold it for you. United in the pain that came before you. Ties that bind and break, we shoulder for you. It's like woman is defined in pain, in shame, in weight. But you say you're running out of space for change, for grace. But we're the luxury of impulse, granted blindly, running wild. Who'd be the one who stands to save the threadbare, not quite severed ties? 'Cause she already counts the ripples before ever throwing stones. Oh, does the cruelty get lonely when your life is all your own? Like change is gonna come in an exodus or shrug, in spite of how you love. Woman, take your clay and mold it for you. Your village and your name turned golden for you. Look into her eyes, asking what does the world owe ya? Like the debt is hers to shoulder, so she's to blame when you don't wanna stay the same. Transform, then won't you? The strength in your mistakes, so grow it, don't you? Look inside and take the control you think she's holding. When you left her blamed and broken, maybe then you will be happy now. Are you happy now? Woman like your atlas.
That's gonna guitar right soon, ER. Everybody just put their instrument, just like, yeah. Hello. That was a great open mic. Thank you all for sharing. Sharing is hard. It takes bravery and lots of things going on in the world. And I remember the first time I shared a poem. People didn't tell me I did this, but I did this the whole time. And I was like, how y'all listening to my words when y'all think I gotta go pee? I mean, it was ridiculous. But I mean, I think that everybody, you have to work up to that place where you can be comfortable standing and sharing to strangers. Yeah. And we're about to have our feature coming to the mic, Trinity Faith, with her new book, Brown Girl Almighty. I'm going to read the bio in the book. First, I was going to read that. I was like, okay, that says fuck a lot. But that's also my favorite word. So, noun, verb, adjective, adverb. It does all the things. It's amazing. Trinity is a poet, YouTuber, and holistic healer from Atlanta. She received her education at North Carolina A&T State University, where she reigned as the poet. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. She reigned as a poet laureate of the 2019-2020 school year. After taking a leap of faith, she dropped out to document her healing journey with, I can't say that one, a kind of mushroom. You gonna say it? Say psychedelic. Okay, mushroom. Okay, there we go. Her authenticity has taken her far, and her passion for creating community has inspired a string of events, ceremonies, and spiritual retreats worldwide. She finds joy in connecting with others and helping them see the world in a new way. Y'all give it up for Trinity Faith.
Hello. Is this tall? Is this good? A good height? I feel like I'm like my face was blocked a little bit. Okay. Move it. 4'11".
I was aiming for chin, so I'm top on feet.
Got you. Yeah, testing. Audio. Cool. Thank you. Thank y'all for being here. My name is Trinity. I am a Gemini stellium, an esoteric student of life, co-creator of Safe Space and Sacred Healing, and I wrote a book. It took me like 8 years to write a book. I remember the day that this idea came into, well, it was gifted to me, to be honest. I had wrote my first real poem and performed it on stage at my high school, and my assistant principal approached me the next day and she was like, I really liked your poem, like you should write a book. And she just said it like it was like so simple, like a simple task that I could like just do all of a sudden. And so therefore I took her advice, and yeah, I didn't think it'd be 8 years, but divine timing, divine timing. So I like to do a little intuitive poetry on the occasion. So the first chapter of this is Brown, and it talks about my childhood and developing as a Black girl in this society and starting to conceptualize that and figure out what that's supposed to mean for me navigating this matrix, and the trauma that comes with that, to be honest with you. So somebody give me a number between 2 and 51. 30 and 21. You see. All right, 21's a little traumatic. Not gonna do that one. You said 30. Okay, that's a good one. What's in my hair? 30. This is called I Want to Know Her Name. They found what was left of her in the woods in January 2012. She was all bones, Scattered amid the white snow, I imagine that in her final moments, she stared at the sky, praying that a shooting star would wish her out of an inevitable death. I hope the sky was beautiful that night. I hope it shined just for her. Did you know that Black girls are more likely to go missing and still less likely to be found? My obsession with true crime developed out of self-protection. I needed to know what to do if I was ever in their position, because Black girls don't get Amber Alerts or search parties or names on headstones. Did you know that in the country, you can still see the stars? The night sky is a mirage of cosmic energy. The speed of light travels beyond our comprehension. Light rays take thousands of years to dance across the galaxy, and if you blink for just one moment, you will miss what was right in front of you. She was right in front of you. In the country town of Opelika, Alabama, with a population of only 28,000, but no one knows her name. If this were the 60s, you'd see her face on a milk carton. Or not. When Black girls go missing, they never get a cover story. Just an unmarked grave and no one to claim as our own. I would love to tell you her name, but no one knows it. And what a way to prove my point, that when we go missing, it is a privilege to have a name y'all can turn into a hashtag. Sometimes my fear of not being able to protect our murdered girls triumphs my fear of becoming one. Time has a funny way of ticking when you are constantly a target. And I was told not to write this poem as if I am a missing girl. But isn't that the point? That 1 minute I could be here and the next become a have you seen me ad? Do you know what it's like to lose your grip on reality? To have it slip through your fingers like gravity? Sometimes my walk home feels like the difference between life and death. Sometimes I get so cold I think my shadow has found a warmer body to follow. And isn't that just like a Black girl? To go missing without a trace? To have people hashtag our names, but never actually look for us? Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Okay. How much time do I have? How many poems can I read? Oh, okay. Not that much time. Okay. I'm gonna read This Is What Makes Us Girls is one of my favorite poems to read. Please feel free to react. Please, whether it's a laugh, whether it's a shocking gasp, whether it's anything, please, I feed off of it. This is called This Is What Makes Us Girls. The bad girl introduces me to Pierce the Veil in the 8th grade. I am outcast, bullied, a little insecure, but highly fashionable. This is not a tale about depression. It's about friendship, about girl power being a canon event in all of our storylines. I refuse to tell you about how our relationship was bad without also telling you how it was good. At the start of 8th grade, we made vision boards out of composition notebooks, ripped bold words, pop stars, and duck lips out of magazines and glued them down with Elmer's. Tiana was the only kid in class unfazed by what Vogue and Elle had to offer. She came to school the next day and her notebook was a mirage of teen angst. Black, white, gray, red. I ain't know her at the time, but I wanted to. As an emerging poet, I was captivated by inspirational quotes. So when she shows me her notebook, I read it with enthusiasm. Everything spoke to my heart about being a misfit, but I had never heard of any of the authors. Bring Me the Horizon, Sleeping with Sirens, Black Veil Brides. Right before I could ask her what this was, my eyes landed on the one. Maybe I'll pretend right now, but I swear to God, I'm gonna change the world. Pierce the Veil. My finger slammed onto her notebook. What is this? That's Pierce the Veil. It's a band, and you should listen to them. And from that point on, Tiana and I were inseparable. We listened to Lana Del Rey and fantasized about moving to California. We talk about the boys we want to marry like Ali Sykes and Jaden Smith while crying over the ones who ignored us in high school. Tiana used to skip school to smoke cigarettes with the white kids while I'd take notes and fill her in on everything she missed. After school, we'd take Tumblr pictures in tight, skinny jeans and snapbacks and edit galaxies behind us. 2013 was a completely different world. Tiana and I were obsessed with being in love and let the worst things influence how we viewed it.
Evan Peters in season 1 of American Horror Story, Lana Del Rey's Ultraviolence album, Tumblr post that said shit like, "You can't love someone unless you love yourself first." Bullshit. I've never loved myself, but you, oh God, I loved you so much I forgot what hating myself felt like. Tiana taught me how to steal, and I let the habit consume me for months. I'd slip whatever I could into my purse in any convenience store. Most of the stuff I didn't even want. I was just looking for the thrill and maybe the attention. Almost everything I did was a cry for help, but I loved embodying a bad girl. Here is where I could be loud and rambunctious in my own quiet and devious way. I could sneak high school flings into my bed when no one was home, flirt with the people at work, and fuck the pizza delivery guy. Tiana inadvertently taught me how to lie. She was so bad at it that I became good, saw exactly what not to do. So when my mom asked why the window screen was completely ripped open, it was not because I went out last night to fuck Justin in the backseat of his Honda Civic. It's been ripping for a few months. The storm last night must have had its way. Sometime between my first and second year in high school, Tiana and I's friendship started to fade. Once, she woke my mom at 6 a.m. by accidentally knocking on my little brother's window. Tiana woke me that morning in a manic state about the shit show that was her life. My mom's frustration grew. She didn't understand why I kept her around given how much trouble she was. Our friendship was based on being teen girls who had all the emotions in the world but no one to relate to. We saw ourselves in each other and nurtured that for better or worse. I was short-tempered, sexually repressed, had daddy issues, and she struggled with substance abuse, self-harm, and raising all her siblings while trying to find ways to escape herself. We loved each other despite. Tiana gifted me a used dildo she'd stolen from her granddad on my 16th birthday. It was full of caffeine pills. That night, she brought weed to my Sweet 16 and smoked it with our classmates. And my mom was livid, vowed that the bad girl could not come around anymore. And 3/4 of me agreed, but I still felt this unique connection with Tiana. She couldn't have been that bad if she introduced me to Percival. If she kept me smiling after 3 years of an on and off friendship. And who's to say I wasn't as bad as her? Perhaps my mother's disdain for Tiana was to disguise her confusion for the teenager I'd become. Because who am I if not a bad girl too? I've sought thrills in the most dangerous places, alone at night in the streets of downtown Atlanta, in the hands of strange men, in rooms with women who hate themselves more than they hate me. In her book, Communion, Bell Hooks says, women who suppress their own unique gifts in the interest of being dutiful daughters, wives, and mothers are often filled with rage. So ode to the bad girl for being an imperative part of my story, for introducing me to new things to love about life, for showing me girlhood and celebrity crushes, the color black, and white people music, for finding a lot to love in 13-year-old me. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Someone give me a number between 56 and 114. 69. Okay, heard that. 78. Back to both of those are really short. I'm just going to do I have a lot of poems about the evolution that caused me to have consciously, and that will be one of the last poems that I read. Yes, I got you. You know what? I'm gonna read In Praise of Difficult Women. Yes. So this poem is after Karen Carbo, who is the author of the book In Praise of Difficult Women. My cousin says that I am a difficult woman. Therefore, I wrote a poem in praise of difficult women. When my uncle shames me for telling my 14-year-old how to use a tampon, I realize that he is afraid of periods. Maybe the blood is what disturbs him. He panics at the mess it leaves and then tells me that I have to have kids, that our bloodline must continue. He always speaks in hypocrisy. My uncle is the type to whoop his daughter and then turn around and tell her to never let a man put his hands on her, but I am the one who is difficult. When my father calls me a bitch for disagreeing with him, I must remember that this is how he likes his women: submissive, sunny side up, ready to stroke his ego. Any aspect of me that angers him is just a reminder of himself. The men in my family listen better when I am silent, so I never shut the fuck up. I've had 18 years worth of pacifism and gaslighting, 2 worth of rage and unlearning, and a forever of healing and acceptance. The irony is how they taught me to be everything I am not. Said to sit up straight and be a young lady. I couldn't even get comfortable in them hard-ass church pews before someone yelled at me to close my legs. They taught me that I was the problem, the reason I'd be raped and assaulted. And the craziest part is, they almost had me with that bullshit. I used to believe that I liked to play with glass. Fixing broken boys felt like second nature. I never wanted kids, but I sure did mother those niggas. Sure did make space for them to make a home out of me. The common belief is that girls tend to date boys like their fathers, so am I to blame mine? Jeremiah, the weeping prophet, the one that convinced me God made woman from man's rib, as if I didn't fucking come first, as if I shouldn't always come first. I find it hard to believe that I was only created for the benefit of someone else, and I don't need the men in my family to agree. They only believe that the Black woman is the most disrespected person in America when it comes out a man's mouth. So do you listen better when I am silent? Do you even listen at all? Thank y'all. I think I only have time for one more poem, but I did want to say that I am currently expounding upon other literary creations, and one of those inquires some audience participation. So I'm currently writing a fantasy anthology with 13 other writers of color, and it is going to be a extravagant thing. I had a very divine vision from it from my ancestors, and I foresee us all sitting in community, getting to know each other, channeling these stories from a higher source, and creating an anthology. And in a year, we will go to Morocco for a 7-day retreat to celebrate the creation of the book. And if anyone is interested, you can find out more about it on browngirlalmighty.com/submissions. Someone give me a number 120 to 158. 21. That's what you
Yo, all of your numbers have been below like what I'm asking for. Like,
hell no. 155. Okay. So this is Almighty, and Almighty is what I consider to be the God chapter, because this is the part that took the longest to write, and it developed after my psychedelic experience, after my journey introspectively, and therefore to the whole entire world and my place in it. So I'm gonna read God I Am. I'm obsessed with past lives and reincarnation and things of that sort. So when I die, do not tell the kids I'm in heaven. Instead, show them an image of a circle and point out all the places that it does not stop. Tell them that this is what it means to occupy a body. Our soul undergoes different life cycles, and I just so happen to be done with this one. For I am not dead. I am alive in even more aspects than before. There will be no tales about a white man dying for my vices. No story about the eternal search for a God that is outside of me. Tell the kids I went into a canal similar to the one we come out of. Tell them I was greeted by beings I've known for eons. Describe a vortex filled with colors never before seen by the human eye. Tell them I am both here and somewhere else. The breeze on the back of your neck, the everything on a bagel, all the hairs you shave away that keep growing back, for I am God. But do not worship me. For what is God but not a mirror of both you and me? I do not dream of an eternal white paradise filled with those from my past life. That sounds boring. Where is the soul's progression if we never learn our lessons?
I dream of experiencing all sides of the spectrum, embodying every archetype that begat the universe until I exhale new galaxies that begat the universe. For there is so much more to discover in life after death. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Is that all my time? I think that's all my time. Okay, cool. You can follow me on Instagram at Ethereal Trinity. If you need help spelling that, that's the real Ethereal Trinity. And browngirlalmighty.com is where all my stuff is at. So thank y'all.
Thank you. We want to make sure you have time to sign books and everybody get a chance to, chat with you one-on-one. So, Theresa, any announcements?
I made a lot of announcements, so y'all know how to find me. I'm at She Pirate on Instagram, and I'm Googleable.
Yes.
We'll just say that. Theresa Davis, and hopefully I will see you at Scrabble Club. But something you said about death and living forever, I got put in timeout because I said I was going to live forever. All I had to do was write a book. So I feel like you've done a couple things in your thought processes of that. Geminis think alike because we're a lot of people. Thank you all so much for being here. We'll see you next month.
Yes, I got a couple announcements real quick. One is that tomorrow, Yarrow, who is our bookseller up front, is more famously known as a documentary filmmaker, and they are showing their amazing film, Can't Stop Change, Queer Climate Stories from the Florida Front Lines, here tomorrow night. So come check that out if you are interested in climate justice, how queer people in particular are, enacting change, and intersectional narratives in general. Come here tomorrow night, 7 p.m. It's only live. It's not going to be online. On Saturday night, we have a purely online event about tarot. So 78 acts of liberation, how to use tarot decks for liberation to transform our world. And then on Sunday, we have a 2-part celebration of Homeland, My Father Dreams of Palestine by Hannah Mushabek, and In This Family by Shelley Anand. Those are both kids' books, but we're going to be doing a kids' part with the story time and then transitioning into an adult time talking about what it means to be a publisher and a writer talking about Palestine in this time. So bring your kids and then hang out and stay for the adult part. Or if you don't have kids and you just want to come for the second part, that is on Sunday afternoon from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. All right. Thanks, y'all.